Welcome back to This Week in Formula One. It is the week of the 26th of January and we're getting ever so closer to the pointy end of the pre-season. So let's get right into it because we have a lot to talk about this week. Our first story of the week, last Monday in fact, Haas revealed their new livery for 2026. Most teams actually revealed their livery this week, so we have a lot of liveries to go over, but for the sake of time, I'm going to probably speed through a lot of these stories quite quickly, so apologies in advance, but let's get into it. This is Haas's new livery for 2026, and I think it looks really good. I think the 2025 livery was solid. It didn't stand out to me. I think this livery is definitely an improvement. And yeah, I think the GR on the back is, because that's because of Gazoo Racing, of course, because Haas's title sponsor is now Toyota Gazoo Racing, if you weren't aware. And I think it looks nice. I really like, the front of the car looks very similar to the 2025 car, but as it goes back, I think there's a lot of interesting jagged lines and stuff, and it looks nice. The colors look nice. I like this little, line they've got going all the way up, and then it kind of tapers out here. It looks nice. I wish this Haas was red, or maybe wish the H was red and then the A was red. That would be cool. But yeah, it looks nice. I'd probably give it a solid 7 out of 10. I'm excited to see what Haas has to offer going into the 2026 season. The drivers seem to be expressing confidence, which is always exciting. And I think Haas will go well. The cars look nice. I'm excited to see them on track. Yeah, they look nice. Good on Haas. I wish them the best. Let's move on to our next story. Honda revealed their new 2026 engine. Now, if you weren't aware, Honda has historically been partnered with Red Bull Racing, though this year they have switched and gone and partnered with Aston Martin instead. And they recently revealed their new 2026 engine in I think it was an event in Japan, along with Lawrence Stroll was also there. Basically here they comment that it's an entirely kind of new approach to engine development, as their previous approach was largely unusable. I mean, because this new engine system is a 50-50 hybrid split, so I think that makes sense. We'll get a true feel for how good the Honda is in testing next week for the Shakedown in Barcelona, but I think it's exciting. Obviously they have Adrian Newey, so Adrian Newey is going to make the absolute most out of that Honda engine as much as he can. And I'm excited to see whether the Honda engine is any good at all. Obviously, Koji Watanabe says there's a reasonable degree of confidence, and Honda has a large history in the sport. So I think there's no reason for them not to be confident. All things considered, I think Aston Martin will be pretty solid next year, if I had to guess. So I'm excited to see how they go. Yeah. Next story, we have Audi's new livery. Now, if you watched my video earlier in the week, you'll know I kind of already gave you a sneak peek at Audi's livery, but my thoughts are it looks pretty meh. I think the colors are cool. I don't really like how it just cuts off at the back and then you have the white and the kind of neon orange that they're going for. I think it looks okay. I think definitely they could have done a lot more with it to make it more interesting. It looks very similar to that kind of test livery they showed early in the year, if you remember that. Yeah, I think it looks okay. These are my thoughts. It doesn't stand out to me. I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10. It's fine. I don't think it excels, but it doesn't look reprehensibly bad or anything. I feel like it's one of those liveries that will kind of grow on you over the season. So yeah, I think Audi looks cool. Obviously, there's been a lot of news about Audi going into the season over the past couple of weeks, so I won't hark on too long about Audi, but I'm excited to see how they go. The livery is clean. Let's move on to F1 Academy champion Dorian Pin graduating to a development driver role at the Mercedes Formula One team. Obviously, Dorian Pin, an absolutely class driver. I think she won the previous 2 F1 Academy years, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely there's a whole heap of talent there, and I think it would have been a shame to just leave her in Formula One Academy. Obviously, the purpose of Formula One Academy is to give these people the opportunity to graduate to Formula One. And I think it's true modicum of whether it has been a successful venture or not will be one of these girls ends up in Formula One. So I think it's really awesome that Dorian Pin is being given that opportunity. Obviously, she has a really good relationship with Toto Wolff, as we know, so it's not entirely surprising to me. And I think it's great that she's expanding her role. I think it's really cool that Formula One is giving these Formula One Academy girls more opportunity, because they definitely deserve it. I think there's a lot of opportunity for Formula One there. I think there should absolutely be a female driver in Formula One, so I hope eventually Dorian Pin is able to get an opportunity, because she's an absolute quality driver, and I wish her the best. So yeah. Right, next story, we have Netflix confirming the release date for Drive to Survive Season 8. Now, I'm not personally the biggest fan of Drive to Survive. I think it's a little bit of an over-exaggeration. I'm just not really, I don't like it that much. I think a lot of what they do is they artificially create these moments, and that's not actually how it happened at the end of the day. But I'm certainly curious to see how it will go with the whole Oscar McLaren drama. I think if I had to guess, they'll probably over-exaggerate it a lot. But who knows? It comes out, I think, February 27th, towards the end of February, a week before the new start of the season, which makes a lot of sense, I would say. And I think it'll be solid. I will probably watch it and do a review here on the channel and just give my thoughts. So stay tuned for that before the start of the season. And yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Again, it'll be interesting to hear the driver's insights, if nothing else. Hopefully Netflix doesn't over-dramatize it too much, as they regularly do. So I'm excited for it. Next story, we have Mercedes 2026 livery. So this is Mercedes 2026 livery, and it looks okay. To be honest, I don't really think it's that big of an improvement over the 2025 livery. The front end is essentially the same as it was in 2025, and they've kind of gone for this weird kind of like star look at the back, which I feel like they just did for the sake of trying to be different. So it's not that effective to me personally. I feel like it's one of those designs that'll grow on you though over time. So yeah, it looks okay, is my thoughts. I think there should be more silver on it. It's very dark. There's like nothing here. It feels very under-designed, is how I feel about it. It's okay. I'd probably give it like a solid like 6 out of 10. I feel like it's like fine. It's objectively like okay. It's not offensive, but it's not really making me love it or anything at all. It's okay. But along with that, we have the W17 hitting the track for the first time in some new kind of pre-release or some new footage. And yeah, there it goes. I have more footage here, so I'll pull that up. Thank you to Cautions Out for the footage here. I appreciate it. We'll skip a little bit forward here. Just again, and there it is. I think it looks nice in person. I didn't realize there's like, okay, it kind of tapers out there. Okay, it looks better in person, definitely. I feel like they could have done more with the side pod, or more with the engine bay area. Certainly, but yeah, give it a look here. Get to hear the engine a little bit. It sounds nice. It looks nice. And there it goes. More footage here. I think George Russell was the one driving the car, to my knowledge. Yeah, there he goes. It looks cool. Not surprising that Mercedes was able to get out in confidence. I mean, they always do. Certainly, I think Mercedes is rumored to be at the top of the pack for the 2026 season. And I swear I read somewhere that they were able to achieve like 200 miles an hour on their first run. So I think it'll be interesting to see how Mercedes goes. Historically, over the 2022 regs, they were not able to capitalize on that series of regulations at all. But I think there's a lot of confidence behind the team. It's been widely rumored that the Mercedes powertrain is the best powertrain going into 2026. So I'm curious, I'm interested, and I'm excited to see how they go. Cool that they were managed to get out. I think we'll have to wait and see in the shakedown test in 2026. Let's move on to our next story. It is the Ferrari 2026 livery reveal. It's okay, is my thought. They've gone for like more white here, which is interesting to me. I don't hate the whole like white part they've done, but I feel like it's just a little like, it cuts, the red itself cuts off very early, and you have this like little carbon fiber section across the car, which I think looks weird. I don't know why they didn't just spread the red all the way down to like the bottom there. So I'm not really sure I like that very much, to be entirely honest. But it's an okay livery. It's Ferrari. You can't really go wrong with it. It still looks nice. I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 10. It's okay. I don't really like it all that much. Perhaps I'm being too harsh, but I think it just doesn't really, I don't really fancy it all that much. Even the new like team kit doesn't really look that great in my opinion. It's okay. I'd probably give it like a 4.5, closer to a 5 than I would a 4, but it doesn't, I'm not the biggest fan. And here we have Hamilton, of course, talking as he always does at the start of the season. Been a lot of really cool promotions for Ferrari, as there always is. It's always a big event when Ferrari decides to unveil their new car, in every situation. And Lewis is here saying that the team feels very refreshed and excited for the new beginnings. Certainly we all know Lewis didn't exactly have the greatest 2025, but I'm really glad that Lewis seems to be doing better. He seems to be happy, seems to be excited for 2026. Very similar vibes to 2025, which is a little concerning if I'm being honest, but certainly there's a lot of hype. Lewis has admitted that he's massively excited. I think he's kind of left behind all the crap that he went through in 2025, and I'm excited to see if Ferrari is able to perform at all. So yeah, along with that, we've got Ferrari managing to get out on the track for I think roughly around 5 laps around the Fiorano circuit. Of course, all the Tifosi were there, as they always are, and I think yeah, there's a lot of hype around it. I think there's always going to be a lot of hopium around maybe this will be Ferrari's year, but who knows is the truth of the matter. Obviously, we'll shout out to NM2255 Raw Car Sounds for the footage here. And yeah, obviously it's very exciting. Obviously this was primarily a media day, so who's to say whether the car is actually any good? I don't know, we'll have to wait to see in Barcelona. But yeah, cool again that Ferrari were able to get out. I think there's a lot of question marks around whether Ferrari will be able to perform in 2026. Certainly not a lot of hope after 2025, but I think, and I hope, that they will be able to have a good season. This could be Lewis's final year in the sport, so I hope he's able to go out in a blaze of glory instead of fizzling out and just struggling again in that car. Certainly I think Lewis has a lot more experience in Ferrari now. He has a new race engineer coming in. Hopium is at an all-time high is all I'll say. There's certainly a lot of hopium around Ferrari. Skip ahead to Charles on track here. And yeah, they both got to get a couple laps in. They both have expressed that they simply want to get more laps in, which is to be expected and to be hoped. Yeah, to me this was more of like kind of a media appearance. Great that they were able to get the car out. I hope and I wish Ferrari nothing but the best. So yeah, going into 2026, hopefully they're able to perform. Let's move on to our next story. It is Alpine unveiling their 2026 car, and it looks pretty much the same to the 2025 car. Let me pull up the 2025 car because I don't exactly remember entirely what it looked like. Oh wow, it's literally identical. It's the same. Dang, I mean, this livery was nice. And I mean, it looks nice. I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10. It looks nice. I like the blue. The pink accent is nice. It's still giving Force India, which is cool. It looks fine. It's the same from how it was in 2026. I don't think Alpine is going to be any good this year, but who knows? Maybe I'll eat my words. We'll have to wait and see. And here we have Flavio Briatore promising to everybody that this season will be fantastic and that they have no excuses not to perform. Flavio is somebody who loves to talk the talk, and he loves to walk the walk, but whether or not he's actually able to perform, I doubt it. I doubt it. If I'm being entirely honest, I doubt it. They've got some okay drivers, but I just don't think that Alpine is anywhere. Obviously, Flavio is a person who has a lot of history in the sport. I think some rumors came out today that Christian Horner is investing in Alpine, which is interesting to me. I think Flavio and Horner is a combination that could be very dangerous for several different reasons. But in terms of whether or not Alpine will be able to perform, I think it's doubtful, if I'm being honest. I think it's highly doubtful. The car looks nice. Flavio is talking the talk, but hopefully they're able to climb up that mid-pack a little bit more this year, and we'll see how they go. Wishing them nothing but the best. Moving on to F1 Shakedown Week. Everything you need to know. Now later in the week, I'm probably going to do a full kind of covering of the Shakedown Week as we get towards the end of the week. But for now, obviously we know that it's in Barcelona, in Catalonia is the circuit, which is exciting. If you don't know what the shakedown testing is, you're probably wondering, isn't there a Bahrain testing? What are we doing? Well, a shakedown is essentially, all the cars are able to get out and do a specified number of laps to just test if their car is working or not working, and then they get another round of testing that is more media public facing in the 2026 Bahrain testing. But this testing is not as media facing, and it's more privatized to just the teams themselves, whereas the testing in Bahrain is publicly broadcasted to everybody. That's the fundamental difference, but fundamentally they're the same thing. Obviously they're different laps, and teams, as it says here, are only allowed to run 3 out of 5 days. So a large amount of teams, I think Ferrari and McLaren, are not running on day 1, but they're running maybe day 2, 3, 4, but then not day 5. And yeah, obviously they're able to just go as many laps as they can on their allocated days. And yeah, there's a lot of flexibility there, and essentially they're just able to go around and get some laps in and try their best to see where the car is at all. Obviously we have more livery reveals coming up after the shakedown testing for Cadillac, Williams, McLaren and Aston Martin. I think I'm most excited to see what McLaren does and Aston Martin out of all of those teams. Obviously I'll be covering that as it happens in a couple of weeks' time, but for now I think the shakedown testing is exciting. There's not much we can say going into it other than I hope the cars go well, and I wish them nothing but the best. Shout out Fabienne Lampe for the article here, and I will be covering more of the shakedown testing as we get into it later in the week, so stay tuned for that. And obviously, as I mentioned here, Ferrari is not set to run on day 1 of Barcelona testing, which is to be expected. I'd say they'll probably be doing like days maybe 2, 3, and 5, or 2, 4, and 5, some amount of that. And I think it makes sense. It seems, yeah, as it says here, McLaren is also confirming that they're starting their running on the 2nd or 3rd day. And it seems like that's the case with a lot of teams, is they're kind of leaving the space open for other teams to jump in and do their testing day 1. I think it comes up to a multitude of factors, and it's not emblematic of any kind of thing where it's like maybe they're not confident because they're not running as soon as possible. No, it could just be that, like, because they want to better set up the car on the first day and focus on that, and then do testing the preceding days, or maybe one of the drivers is not able to come in on day 1. So I'm sure it's a whole variety of different factors and management situations that we just simply don't know. But I think it's certainly exciting, and I hope Ferrari goes well. Here we have some pretty dour news for a team that performed really well last year. Williams has announced that they will not take part in the Barcelona shakedown. This is not good. This is a really, really, really bad sign for the project. Normally, if Williams is suggesting, hey, we're not able to participate in this testing for the new regulations that you 100% want to be testing your car at, means that they have no confidence that they're even going to be able to get out and get some laps going. A similar thing happened in 2019, and that car was in the dirt for like the majority of that year. So certainly it shows a lot of negativity in whether this project will be at all anywhere good. If I had to guess, I would say it's highly doubtful, considering that they're not even able to get their car out. But I think it's a shame, because Williams has so much potential, and James Vowles seems to really, really have a good grip over what he wants to do on this team, and maybe it's a red herring. Maybe everything will go great. But it's a massive shame for Williams, and a massive blow that they're missing the 2026 shakedown testing. So I hope they're able to pursue this maximum car performance, as they're saying here, and I hope that they will be able to get that car running and that it's good. And for our last story of the day, I want to quickly jump in here and talk about F1 the movie. Obviously, massive success. I think it made like $800 million at the box office, I think, and it's been nominated for 4 Oscars, which is exciting. I think one of them being Best Picture, which I think is interesting. Obviously, there was an extreme amount of hype around the movie. I personally quite enjoyed it, and it was a big movie. It was a massive success, a huge venture for Formula One. It got a lot of people into the sport, from what I can look of it. So it's really cool that it's being represented at the Oscars. Obviously, now Lewis Hamilton is an Oscar-nominated producer, which is very cool for him. And yeah, I think it's exciting. There's lots of stuff to be excited for. Whether they will win any of them, I'm not sure. Visual effects and sound, I think, is certainly one that they have a good chance in. But yeah, it's exciting. Obviously, we also know that earlier in the year they announced a sequel is in development. When that will end up coming out, who knows? But yeah, congratulations to the entire Formula One the movie team. I'm excited to see how they go in the Oscar. And with all that being said and done, that was this week in Formula One. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for later in this week where I'm going to do some full, extensive coverage of the Shakedown testing and how each team went. So stay tuned for that. If you like this video, like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything at all this week in Formula One, and I'll cover it next week in Formula One. And I hope you have a great, wonderful day. Peace. Bye.